Oh, yeah, by the way, we're on.
We're on. Hey, good evening.
Welcome to Open Bar. I'm Lisa Peach.
I'm
and
Mike Morales.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure you're not Alex tonight?
No, I don't want to be Alex tonight. Alex is probably stuck in traffic in Southern California.
Nobody wants to be Alex tonight.
No, that's why we call it Open Bar. It's happy hour, boys and girls. Boys and girls.
No, don't do Lawrence Welk.
I want to do Lawrence Welk.
No. All right, do with Lawrence Welk.
I will do Lawrence Welk. But before I do Lawrence Welk.
No, tell them how the boys.
Those boys really know how to pee on their toes.
Okay, you got that out of your system?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Tell them who we've got tonight.
Tonight, I have a real special spot in my heart because everybody in the world loves a comeback. Everybody in the world loves an underdog. I mean, if anybody out there has seen all the Rocky movies, and you know it's about getting hit and coming back, and that's what the final Rocky movie, which we'll call Creed for now, says the same thing. So this story, the tequila industry is full of comeback players, and they're full of really just knockdown, drag out.
It's a Cinderella story, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. It's a Cinderella story. That's one that's close to my heart because in 2009, I was a judge at the Spirits of Mexico, the famed Spirits of Mexico tequila show that used to be.
You were bad man.
I was. I was one of the judges in 2009. That show is no longer in existence. It is now called something else. It used to be in San Diego, California.
Shout out to Dory.
Hey, Dory Bryant. Great job for that. And she's brought it back. Now it's called Glorious Spirits. In any case, at that time, that was probably the largest submission for a tequila tasting contest that she had ever had. And on our first day as judges, we were a room full of like 20, 25 people. Some of us catadores, some of us had our own shows before. Some of us were tequila, were spirits writers. Famous mixologist. In any case, we had done on that day 111 tequilas. 111 tequilas, ladies and gentlemen. In your first 10 or 20, your palate is gone. All right. This was probably the most grueling tequila tasting that I had ever been a part of. And the interesting thing is,
excuse me here.
Even after all of that amount of tequilas, we were, as judges, we were taken aback and just surprised as all get out for a brand called Nocaut. And now this is a blind tasting, so you don't see the bottles, okay? You don't even know what's in your glass. You're just going from you've got Riedel glasses like this, and you go from glass to glass to glass to glass, and then they come with another wave of trays of glasses, and they set them in front of you.
And tedious tequila drinking,
right? And you're not tasting, you're not drinking, you're tasting, and you're spitting out. I mean, it's the most. I even said it was the most tequila that I've never had.
No.
All right. So, in any case, at the end of the 2 days worth of judging, the winner by almost a unanimous decision from all the judges was a brand that when they showed us the bottles, when they carted in the bottles, because they always take a picture of the group with the bottles, we were surprised. We were surprised. And the interesting thing, that's what this bottle looks like. Look at this. Check this out. This is modeled after a bottle that has once the tequila take part of open to the public happened, the guys who go now who were bringing people in like a ring girl be walking around with her sign, waving people to this booth, and I got people all over tequila. And right now we have one of the guys. Well, before I even go this brand was to be something so spectacular, and then it fell worse. Wow. And we weren't exactly sure why. It just was positioned.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical issues here.
Well, it was the brand was positioned to be just the next hottest thing, and then it just disappeared. It died. So come 4 or 5 years down the comeback. The brand is making a comeback in the United States, in Southern California, in the Texas market, and we're going to be surprised. One of them is
and Dawn
Burns
goes by the name. Dawn, I'm sorry for technical difficulties. Saul, are you on your phone again, sweetie? We've got very, very bad audio from you. I can't make out what you're saying.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah. Yep. Okay. It dropped the call. So Saul will try to will be rejoining us.
Yeah.
Now the way it works is Don Burns is one of the original owners of the brand, and he and Saul Segura, who has his own importation distribution business here in Texas, and also Colorado. They met, and so they kind of got together, and we'll let them tell a little bit of their story, but it's heartbreaking, it's heart-wrenching, but it's not uncommon. What the story that they'll relate to you happens very often in this business. The
tequila business is a tough business. It eats its own.
Yeah.
It definitely eats its young, and unfortunately, if you come in and you make a big splash, which everybody wants to do within their first 5 years, everybody wants to come in and make a big splash and just come out punching.
Yep.
And that's what Nocaut did, and then that's when they got noticed and things started happening in all the bad ways.
Yeah. The story that they'll relate to you is very similar to, for those of you who follow tequila brands and have an experience with a lot of other brands. Their story is very similar to the one from Ka. Ka Tequila was another one of those brands that was geared for greatness, and well, they ran into some problems with the owners, a lot of infighting, and eventually it wound up in court, not only in Mexico but in the United States. And this story will be somewhat similar. So if you're contemplating getting into the tequila business, do yourself a favor, get yourself a couple of really good lawyers, one in the U.S. and one in Mexico, just to cover your bases. Okay.
And make sure your bases are covered in Mexico.
Yeah.
Because there is all kinds of shenanigans going on down there.
The partnerships that you'll form, the relationships that you'll forge, whether it's with your your business partners or your master distillers or your lawyers is extremely important, and it gets very, very touchy because once you gain traction in the U.S., because obviously you want to be a success here, the United States is the largest consumer of tequila in the world, and then Mexico, believe it or not. So you really want to make sure that you have no interruption in trying to break into the market, because it is so difficult to do. But in any case, that's what we're going to be hearing of from those guys.
If we can get them on.
Are they having a problem getting on?
They are definitely. I'm going to go ahead and, guys, if you can hear me, I'm going to go ahead and bump you, and let's see if you can log back on again. This is crazy. We're having some technical issues tonight.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the podcasting.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll have we have several ways that we want to approach this subject. But like I say, if you've seen this bottle of tequila somewhere, pick it up.
Well, yeah, take a look at the bottle and the branding. There's the branding. That is really cool. You've got the boxing gloves and the crown and some really, really nice work here, and it's all in foil. And then this really is a boxing glove.
Yep.
See?
It is. The stopper is.
The stopper is like it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah, kind of. You may have seen another brand that had a similar look to it, but this one was so original and so close to reality that the stopper is synthetic cork. I mean, there was a lot of thought that went into this brand. The ribbons and the foil labeling looks very much like a boxing.
Like a belt.
Like a belt.
So, like the champion.
Right, or the MMA belts that are, that or even wrestling belts for that
boxing.
matter. Yeah. Well, they started in boxing, but now they're doing.
I've seen Rocky. They do it in boxing. I know they do.
Obviously.
And the gloves, they wear those gloves.
And the gloves,
things.
yeah. And even back in here, you've got the wrinkles of the glove. I mean, it's so true to reality. And the juice. Let's just say that the juice was spectacular, even after 111 tequilas that we did have, that we tasted on that first day. Not to mention the reposados and the añejos and the extra añejos and whatever else was in there. So, but in any case, like I say, as soon as Saul Segura and Don Burns can get through, we will have their side of the story. As well as where they're going in the future with the brand. I'm kind of excited because, this is there are so many brands out there that really make a splash, and you hope they don't go away. Mm-hmm. And this one, like I said, just disappeared. We didn't know from what, all of a sudden you're in a supermarket or you're in a liquor store and you're going, whatever happened to those guys? Gold medal winners, had everything going for them, and then they just fell off a table. Boom, gone. So, but
that's and there are so many reasons that happens in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got it takes a lot of money to create a tequila. I mean, it takes an enormous amount of effort to create the brand, to select the bottles. But you have to buy the bottles; they don't come free.
Yep.
You have to pay the people at the distillery. You've got to source. I mean, there's agave to take into consideration. There's a lot of money, and I mean, it's a great industry because it does keep a lot of people employed in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of money that goes into that industry, and much of it is out of pocket when you're first starting a brand. You've got to have some money set aside. And, sometimes, we see these new brands come on the scene and they are so passionate about their brand and they believe so heartily in their brand, and then they end up, they put absolutely everything they've got into it, and it's a gamble. It really is. It's you're rolling some dice, and you got to hope that you get a good roll.
Yeah, nothing is for sure. Even when all the signs point in the right direction, you really got to do the little things every day. And again, it has a lot to do with partnerships, legal teams, designers, things like that. And basically, a lot of these guys are they're wearing a lot of hats. So not only are you creating a brand, not only are you sourcing tequila, not only do you have this dream that you're pursuing, but
we got somebody.
Hey, we got somebody!
Yay!
Woohoo!
How's that? Can you see?
We have.
Yes.
Hi guys. That's.
We thought we got knocked out.
Don Burns. Yeah, Don. Tell us who you're
with. Partner Henry Royan, the Knockout guy. How come we can't see it?
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Glad you finally made it. Barely. You're a little bit distorted.
Yeah. Are you calling in on your phone? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is when people call in on their phones. At least in our experience, there's a little bit of audio distortion. So bear with us. Some folks call in on their laptop, others call in on their phone. So we're I'm not sure that's a blab thing, but
yeah,
we'll try to get, Dawn, you have been you were involved with Nocaut for since its inception. So, but who thought of the bottle and the brand? I mean, who were you the guy that, or is this your brainchild?
Yeah, this is our brainchild, bro. Yeah, this is our brainchild. Actually, we started in 2006. You there?
Oh,
yeah.
So bad.
The audio is really bad. You're cutting in and out, man.
I wonder if we could do this on phone like we did with Harris.
They could call us on the phone if you wanted to. We don't normally take call-ins, but if you're using your phone, it's just coming up distorted. And I want people to actually, we
want people to hear this.
Yeah. Story. So if there's an open phone that you can use, we can use your video feed and we'll hear your audio.
What's the number?
If it's on.
I'll send it to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Bear. We're gonna use we're gonna use a direct message version of this. So yeah, bear with us. But I want the people who are out there that see this bottle. I've got the Blanco, and you've got, what are you holding there? Is that Añejo or Reposado?
This is Reposado on a new production.
Okay. I want people to know that when they see this bottle on the shelves, that they understand what the story was all about. And I know it's really important for you guys to tell your story, so that when they reach for that bottle, they go, "Oh yeah, I watched those guys, and they had." It's a comeback for those guys, There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I sent it through Facebook Messenger, Don.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger has the number, and you can.
There he is.
There he is.
I hope it's him.
Is that better, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
Should we turn off on the phone?
Oh, yeah, they've got feedback because they have.
Yeah, you might want to turn down your audio completely, or your volume.
There we go. Okay. Much better. Okay. So let's do that.
Okay. So Don, this was your brainchild, correct?
Well, let's backtrack. We started in 2006. Actually, in Vegas, I grew up in Vegas, Basically, some associates back in 2006 in Vegas approached us, and they knew we were involved with the industry, MMA, boxing here in LA, me and Harry. So they approached us and they said, "Hey, we have a tequila. We have a few tequilas, and would you mind helping us market them?" Because they didn't have many contacts here in Hollywood, in California, LA, and so forth. So we said, "Sure. You know, what are the brands?" So they gave us a few bottles. We started, of course, we had to taste it first to see if it was any good, if it was worth marketing. And yeah, it was excellent. The packaging was kind of so-so. But anyways, we started marketing for them. We said, sure, why not? Well, we can get some free tequila. You know, what could it hurt, right? So we started marketing for them. And while we were marketing, we were planning strategies to see how we could penetrate the market. And the light bulb went off, and we came up with this idea. Well, actually, how we came up with the idea is another associate of ours. Harry's been involved in boxing, and I as well. Since I was a kid, I remember I loved boxing. Used to watch all the old fights, Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up a boxing fan, and I remember my dad worked at Caesar's Palace, and he used to get me back when they had all the big fights at Caesar's Palace. So he used to get me in at all the fights, the Hagler fights, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
Wow.
So I became a big boxing fan, and then Harry also was involved in boxing. He was, I think you've been boxing since you were in your teens, right? So that's kind of how it started. We were promoting this other brand, and then an associate of ours as well. He was doing some voiceovers for some MMA and kickboxing. So one day we were at his studio there while he was doing some voiceovers, and we had some boxing gear and stuff there. And while we were planning how to promote this other tequila, of course there was a few shots involved of tequila. So you know how that goes. We were having a good time, and then we started messing around with the boxing gloves, and then we stood one of the boxing gloves up on end and said, "Damn, this is really cool as a bottle." And so it wasn't one of our brainchild. It was us combined together as we were promoting this other tequila. So we came up with this idea and said, man, let's see if there's any bottle out there like that. Of course, we did our due diligence. We online, we were checking the trademarks and patents, USPTO, and there was nothing like that. We said, hey, I think we're onto something here. So then we just started doing some sketches and drawings of a boxing glove bottle. And it just escalated from there. We started filing for trademarks and patents. And we took trips to Mexico, formed a corporation, and that's how we came up with it. We had it.
Wow. You see, now, Don, you're a graphic artist, is that correct?
Yeah, I do some graphic arts, correct.
Okay, so the design, the label, all this is authentic as you could get it, right?
But yeah, absolutely. It's our brainchild. It started from scratch. We had a generic boxing glove that we propped up on the table, and we started with that. And we said, man, this would be really cool as a bottle. And from there, we just started sketching. I went online. I went on Photoshop and started designing some stuff. Threw it to Harry, and we started, brainchild back and forth. And it was really a labor of love, and a process that took months. I would say it was about 6 months worth of designing, at least 6 months of designing to come up with the final product. And then from there, we went to Mexico and we engaged, what do you call it, one that does the schematics for the bottles. So, there was a lot of detail involved in that. We have CAD drawings made up, and engineers, yeah, so of course, because they have to have the correct designs to make a mold out of that. So from there, then went on to process 2, and from process 3 to making a mold, and then engaging distilleries. We found our distillery, and we started our first production.
Well, like I said, I kind of told our listening audience and those of us, our viewers, about how I came across this tequila, and after 111 tequilas when I was a judge at Spirits Mexico, how much this one just knocked our socks off. And,
right. Do you intend that pun?
I just kind of, there was nothing, it just came to me because there was nothing else that there's no other way for me to describe it, because the flavor profile was just dynamic. And it was just all set up to make a big splash in the market. And then after your gold medal win and some victories out on the streets, you know, it disappeared. You know, so for a while it disappeared, and I kind of alluded to the fact that your story is very similar to those people who are following the story of Ka. You know, that it was designed by one person and one of the partners literally stole it out from under her, and it wound up in court. And then that poor gal, she got sued by Dan Aykroyd, you know, because it was a skull head. It became a media circus. But you guys,
we won't say that we didn't. People tried to throw a few jabs at us, but that's not completely the whole deal. Mainly, we had an issue with one of the founding partners had some medical issues, and so we had to dial back on promotions at the time because we weren't sure how the company was going to move forward. So it was really, we were on shaky ground there for a while. So we decided to just put on a hold out of respect for one of the founding partners, and so that lasted for quite a while. Then it actually had to go back to his home country for a while. So that kind of put us on hold. And at the same time, there was some factions in Mexico, we just say, that tried to throw a few left hooks and stuff. But we're moving forward from that. It didn't work. They may have had a glancing blow, but it's not definitely nothing a knockout.
No, it was a hard fought battle. I mean, you know, when you're a startup brand and you have people that you trust that you think are in your corner, and then all of a sudden they abandon you. You know, you're left by yourself. You're bloody and unbound. You know, and there's nobody there to help you train. So, you know, we'll keep that portion of the business. Let's just say that it caused a lot of heartache for you guys in the States on this side of the border.
You know what?
What?
Let's let them tell their story.
Okay.
You're waxing a little bit too poetic now. I know you're really loving this.
Yeah, but still,
you know what? We've got some questions that we put together for you guys, okay. And we would love to ask those. We finally got Sol online here.
Before you ask those questions, what do you think of our red glove bottle? That's going to be our new Reposado and our new production. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and we've actually had this prototype for a few years now. That's
red glass, is that correct? Is that red glass?
Yes. That's red glass, correct.
Wow.
That's really nice.
You jumped the gun, Don.
That's really stunning.
We wanted to finish with that at the end. I think he got a little excited.
Yeah, but that's okay. We're joined by Sol Segura. Sol is the new. He came on board, and he's kind of the new phase of Nocaut Tequila. And how did you guys come together? Is this something that happened online, or what? How did you find out about Don? Because you didn't know each other.
Was it Match.com Tequila?
It actually came about that I saw him on. I saw him through Tequila Aficionado. And I reached out to him, and one thing led to another, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And then I reached out to Harry, and we all just kind of, you know, put our faith in each other and put it all together. We've been lucky. It's just been something that's really worked out, and I couldn't ask for better partners.
Well, I know that Don never really gave up on bringing Nocaut back, and I guess the two of you kind of put your heads together and got some legalities straightened out, correct?
Yeah, it took a lot of research and trying to figure out exactly what had happened, where everything kind of went wrong and with who, and then luckily I reached out to Harry, and Harry had some of the other missing information that we needed, and it's kind of like I told Don, and I told Harry, in order for this to work, all of us need to be on board, and to be honest with you, this couldn't be done without either Harry or without Don. They're both very important. Had it not been for them, we wouldn't even be here talking today.
So now all you guys are working together. tell us, first of all, which markets are we going to expect Knockout to come back? Obviously, the Las Vegas market, for one, right?
Right. Well, Southern Wine and Spirits picked us up in 2010, and we're still actually in their database. So all we have to do is contact them again, and we'll probably start distribution with them. We're in California. We're working out a few issues that should be resolved in the next couple of days. It's really not an issue. So we'll start our distribution here in California. So I'll have some distribution for us in Texas and Colorado, and we also have a few other states online as well as a few international accounts that we're working on. So
that's right.
We have a full plate.
You guys are working on the Asia market, right?
Yeah, we do have something in the corner. In the ring going on with that. And then in France as well as Australia.
Wow. So you guys are coming back in a big way.
Yeah, the Texas.
Yeah, we can't really contain ourselves, but it's been such a long process that we're taking it step by step, and we're making sure that we're doing our due diligence on the past.
Great.
So that.
So Saul,
we don't have any hiccups.
Saul, where are we in the Texas market? Do you know, like, for instance, who's going to be picking you up? Are you here officially? Are you into several accounts now, or how's it work?
The order is coming this coming week. They've already placed it, so we'll have it here before the end of this week, hopefully. And we'll have it. We have 2 stops in Austin that our distributor New Vintage has picked up, which we were pretty thankful, because being the Texas market, the one thing you'll always hear is how hard it is to get into the Texas market. And if you can't get in, I mean, it's just.
They say if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you make it in Texas, you can make it in New York.
Exactly. And so we started off here. I started off back in my hometown here in McAllen, Texas. So we've got As Is Liquor, Senor Frogs, the McAllen Civic Center, Slitterbond. We're going to be pretty much decked out all the way from here to Austin, to Dallas, Houston, and then we're going to have San Antonio. We should have all of that running. I want to say hopefully by the end of the month, we should have over 100 to 200 cases sold.
Don, is that a blue glove you're showing me?
Go ahead, Harry.
Oh! It's the hand painted version.
Oh,
wow! Look at that!
nice.
Holy cats!
Go ahead and give them the spill on that one, Harry.
Yeah, tell us about that one.
This was a special order from Las Vegas. It came to a short notice, and there was only 50 of these bottles that were made. 49 of them made it to Vegas. One of them stayed with us.
Well, yeah, I would. Hey, how about over here? How about your friends in Texas, man? It's like we don't count, man. Jeez, I tell you, get no respect.
We couldn't get any.
You may get a surprise in the mail, man.
That looks beautiful. Are you hand painting those in the States? Are they being hand painted in Mexico? How's that working?
No, this was actually made this was a limited special edition for the Pacquiao Cotto fight. And it was a famous artist, right? There was a commission to actually paint the official paintings for that fight. Richard T. Sloan.
So are they signed bottles? Are those?
Some of them are signed. There's a couple of them that are signed that are in the Las Vegas Fight Museum there.
Wow!
But I think he signed like 10 or 15 of those, if I'm not mistaken, and those were auctioned off during the fight.
Wow!
Yeah, so that was an awesome project, and it's something that we're proud of. Definitely one of the small projects that we're part of that we're very proud of. We also did the Manny Pacquiao Celebrity Dart Tournament, I think, around the same time, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, we got many events coming up. We're getting inundated on our emails for events, so we're just trying to plan a step by step first to secure our next production. But yeah, we're good to go.
So I know. Let me just for those geeks like me who are looking to see what distillery this came from, the Gnome number.
It'll be different than the one that you have there, Michael. We're going back to the original distillery.
That's what I was getting at, is that you're going to see stuff from $14.99 is the original, I think, right? $14.99.
No.
$14.50.
$14.59
Is that a $9.9?
No, that's what the other guys
14
are using. They're using $14.99.
Oh, okay. All right. Just
$14.59 is our norm, the Tequila Selecto, the Amatitan.
okay. And so those are the ones that folks should be looking for
Exactly.
when it goes officially on the market. Because I knew that you would be
$14.99 run from it.
Yeah, well, you know,
run from it and give us a call.
Yeah, there you go. Just to clarify, because this is going to be a little confusing. There is a faction in Mexico, if you follow them on any kind of social media, you will see this, that they're doing their own thing, and that's okay. What we're discussing here is the United States version, which is, as we know, the largest, the largest market in the world next to Mexico is the U.S. And this is the market that counts. So we want to make sure that people are aware that what we're discussing right now is the United States, the Nocaut U.S. All right, because this is where the first inroads were made, and there are separate entities. And it gets
where it all started with us. So everything that other faction has basically is and was ours. And I don't want to get into any details because
you can't. Your lawyer says no, and I don't blame you. But
the bottom line is, just like the cost story, we're the originators, we're the designers, the creators of the brand from ground up.
You guys were there from ground zero.
Close to 10 months of labor of love, just designing the bottle, the labels, the designs that are on the labels, everything. When you pick up this bottle, it just screams of original creativity. So, and what the other faction has is basically a knockoff, not a knockout.
Not a knockout.
It's a knockoff.
It's a knockoff.
They should change the name to
knockoff. Well, but that's neither here nor there, because I think what makes me really happy is I remember you guys from the beginning. You guys were so excited. You should have seen them at their table. People were lined up 10 deep.
See these shirts actually we wore the SOM.
Those are the vintage shirts. I gotta say that whoever your ring girl was that day, she was amazing.
Yeah.
I know, she made a huge impression on you.
Yeah, but she's probably retired now. She's a grandma. I don't know, but she, what I loved about her is that she wasn't the average tequila girl. She actually was a ring girl, and she was bringing guys, men and women, and bringing them to you guys couldn't serve fast enough, and I've never seen it.
Not to brag, I'm sure you could explain it as good, if not better. We really stole the show basically there.
Yeah, you did. You did.
People 10 deep just lining up, just to high five. Yeah, it was crazy. It was awesome.
It was Saul. It was a beautiful thing, and now Saul is kind of spearheading what's happening now. So you have, I know Don said you had a lot of plans going on, and Saul, I think where Saul's concerned, he was instrumental in getting getting a lot of the conversations going, and also I think Saul, you had a hand in sourcing a new distillery, correct?
Yeah. Well, what we did is the previous guys that was working with Don and them, to kind of put it nicely, they made the whole brand look bad. They made these guys look bad. So he didn't want to talk to. He didn't want to deal with it at all. Luckily, the gentleman that's going to do our labels, Etiquetas Arrandas, he reached out to him for us, and he kind of explained to them, hey, it's not the same owner. It's that guy that you were dealing with. He wasn't even an owner. He had no reason to be talking. The original. the original owners had no idea what was going on. You know, you just kind of spoke without permission. So once he finally gave us a chance to talk to him, I told him, hey, Harry and Don, we're taking it back. We all want to work with you again. We want to make sure that, the juice is the way it was. We don't want to change anything. And so
No, it was such a stellar tequila. It wasn't just all bottled either. I think that was a surprising thing because, as I said, as a judge, we don't see these bottles until the very end.
Can I interject here for a minute?
Yeah.
What it is, let's go back to the original. The situation, kind of, we were green in the industry when we first, we'll admit that. When we came out, we were a little green in the industry. So what we did is we signed a convenio through a third party that signed it with the original distillery, and that's where all the issues and what do you want to call problems started.
And this is exactly what I talked about at the beginning of the show. How important it is to know who your partners are and who you're working with, who you're doing business with.
Yep.
Because in your passion and joy to really see your dream come to life, there's people out there that want to steal your dream. And you can't let them do it. You can't allow them to steal it.
It's
moving forward, we were blessed to actually be in contact, and a lot of that was we give Saul the kudos for facilitating that. We were reassociated with the original distillery, and now we're signing the convenio directly with them. So there's no third party involved, and that's going to eliminate all the issues. So,
congratulations, that's fantastic.
Great job.
Right.
I mean, this is a comeback story, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are watching this, and those of you who were with us at Spirits of Mexico in 2009, you remember these guys, and you remember their table, and you remember this bottle. I know you haven't forgotten it. And those of you who want to do some research, look this up, because when you see it again, it's going to be the real owners, and it's going to be just going forward in a big way, apparently. Because
it's even going to be better. We're taking a chisel to the mold. We have a few slight upgrades that we want to do, and maybe a little bit of the labeling changes. But everyone's going to be shocked and really pleasantly surprised when we come out with our second round product.
Now, Don, just to clear things up, also, you were bitten by the bug in the midst of the loss of Nocaut, the temporary loss of Nocaut. Right. You continued with another brand, and we want to make sure people also know that you guys are Hacienda del Sol Tequila, correct?
Well, Harry made a good point that was never lost. We never lost. We basically took a break in circumstances, but yeah, we refuse to say that it was lost. It was never lost.
Okay, I'm good with that. That works. Hey,
that's our knockout spirit.
Stay positive.
Stay positive. Now I'm good.
Yeah.
So you also are the brains behind the Hacienda del Sol brand as well.
Correct.
And
we have Hacienda del Sol. We're primarily focused on this brand because we believe it has so much potential. But yes, there's Hacienda del Sol as well, and that also has a different market.
Originally it's an organic tequila. It is a Brand of Promise winner from Tequila Aficionado as well. It had wonderful flavor profile, and it had been successful in the markets as well. And so I think as a 1-2 punch, you got a great combo there, pal.
Yeah, we love to put the 1-2 punches together, maybe 2 or 3 of those, and then for sure knock out all of those.
That's so cool. I mean, this
is really a heartwarming story. I mean, it's I know I gave you a hard time for waxing poetic, but it really is a heartwarming story because we talk to so many brand owners. We talk to so many people who are in the industry or have been in the industry, and they get, they just get laid glad for one thing or another. I mean, we talked to the folks from, and I know the name is going to make me look funny.
Which folks?
Well, the Arturo Palencia
of yes.
Mestizo Mezcal was originally involved in Fat Ass Tequila, which had an interesting marketing angle. But it was an award winner.
Yep.
It was an excellent tequila. It was an award winner. And they ended up getting screwed by a distributor who took all of their product and then never paid them for it. And they had no way to get their money back or to get their product back. And they had put everything they had into it.
Yeah, they were young, so, and that happens a lot too. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. It happens all the time.
It is really, and if you're a brand owner or somebody who's contemplating coming onto the market, Don, instead of me giving advice, what would you say to somebody who's a startup and wants to get in and be on the ground floor like you guys? What do you tell somebody like that? Now that you've experienced what you experienced, what do you tell them?
Do your due diligence. Absolutely. First, you want to secure all your intellectual properties. You want to make sure you have enough funding to carry you all the way through, at least for the first 2 years, and fund any of the marketing projects you have and have enough product to move forward. But it's very intensive, labor intensive, and number one, you gotta love your product. So if you're not in love with tequila, then you shouldn't even be in it. So I think that's number one. You gotta love what you're doing, and we love what we're doing. So that's why we're moving forward now. And
Saul, what do you tell? Saul, now that you've been involved in the backstory of this brand and now involved in going forward, in the new story, what do you tell? What is your advice for people who are watching us and maybe have a brand idea in their head? What do you tell them? What do you say?
I mean, it's kind of like what Don said. You really need to do your due diligence with a lot of these people, because you really need to look into and the other thing is ask questions. Like everybody that I deal with, tequila is such a small community. If you ask somebody, hey, do you know so and so? Everybody, yeah, I know him and I know him. And like the distributor that we're talking to, the original guy, I met him in Colorado. He has 30 years in the business, and he told me, I can tell you who pays, who doesn't pay their bill. So when I came to Texas, I called him. So he goes, you know what? I'm going to get you in contact with the guy there in Texas. I spoke to him, and he told me, I'll tell you who does and doesn't pay their bills, and I can tell you who, I can get you into where you need to go, as far as the big companies. So it's always just, don't be afraid to ask. People think that you're going to jump down their throats because you want to know. Hey, when you're dishing out thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and when you're, something like this, you need to ask those people questions. So ask your label guy, ask the guy doing the bottle, even ask the distiller, the company, the distillery, who do you recommend? Who do you know? And once you get to this side, ask, who are you with? And kind of try to work it from there. So that way you have people that are in the business that will help you and actually answer some of your questions.
So there's
you want to definitely align yourself with people that are trustworthy in the industry, number one. Number two, you definitely want to secure your own intellectual properties before you move forward. Number three, you want to deal directly with the distillery and never give any rights away, because as a foreign owner, you don't have to sign any rights over to anybody. So if you're green in the industry, just remember those from the get-go, and that should be, that should get you on the right path. Make sure you have funding.
And Don's right. Don's right. You don't have to have somebody deal for you. The distilleries will be more than happy to talk to you and to work it with you. Everybody, the bottle guy, the label guy, everybody is more than willing to talk to you. You don't need somebody to, put in the, try to make money off just for being the middle guy.
Right. You don't need a coyote or a middleman.
No,
I guess, would you agree that having somebody
I don't want to get into any of that details, but part of, we were told that this individual owned the distillery, so that's kind of in the beginning how we moved forward with this individual. And it turned out he didn't own anything. He was just, like you said, a coyote or middleman.
Yeah, you were misinformed.
We did do a proper due diligence to see if he actually did own the distillery. That was a plan.
So
yeah, it was a big so that was one of the first issues that came up. And hindsight's always 20/20, but thank God we've been in this industry long enough, and we're moving forward. We've learned a little bit since then. So.
And just to get the emotional part of it, because I really want, just as passionate as you are about your product, can you relate something emotional about the letdown? What everybody has their heartaches, and I know what they are, Don, but something you want to relate to the audience out there, and not to discourage them, but so that they can learn from mistakes. That is there anything that you can relate to us that was so heart-wrenching or emotionally charged that you can relate to someone else and say, beware of this?
Well, there was someone, I'll let Harry say something, but for me, there was so many issues and so many things that were heart-wrenching. I would just say, to sum it all up, it was basically a trust issue. When you trust somebody and you really believe that they're trustworthy and they're a friend, and then you come to find out that they're not, they were actually trying to steal something behind your back, that speaks for itself. For me, that was the trust issue, and the betrayal of trust was pretty much the most heart-wrenching for me. I don't think there's anything that hurt me and Don anything more than to actually to see someone else holding your bottle and saying they own it. Yeah, I mean, we've got so many sleepless nights working on designs. We've got emails between me and Don at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning where it's called Nocaut Shield Proof number 39 and 40. Right. I mean, we would just be going back and forth. We started this company from the ground up. There was nothing we took from someone that went forward. We started this from drawings, from sketching, from cartoon-looking bottles to professional designers, from engineers being involved. If nothing can hurt you more, not to mention the money. Money is another aspect, but to actually, once we created something and once we had it, to see someone else trying to take credit for it, it just blows your mind.
Yeah, that's the worst.
There's nothing that can just, I don't have the words. I'm baffled by the idea that someone thinks they can do this and get away with it.
The gall and the temerity to go through that. And Saul, you've seen the reparation, you've seen the healing. And I would say that you were kind of a big part of the healing of the brand coming back to where it is. I guess would it be helpful to always have somebody who speaks Spanish on your side, or does that even make a difference now?
It does help, but it's just one of those things that
I think the safest bet, like Sal mentioned and like Don mentioned, you can work with the distilleries direct. You can go down to Mexico. You can get a translator. I think the best thing to do is to actually get a lawyer. You need a lawyer you can trust. You need someone you can talk to that speaks English language better. It's not, there's translators out there. You shouldn't cut a corner and not have a translator involved to find out you just signed your company away to someone else.
There you go. Yeah, the Saul, what can you add to that?
I guess to kind of paraphrase Tesla, we're not mad that they stole the idea. We're just mad that they couldn't come up with their own. These guys.
Quoting Tesla.
These guys. I wasn't there for the beginning, but if you spend any time.
Someone else's and say it's yours. I mean, they didn't ridiculous. These guys didn't try changing the name. They didn't try tweaking the label. They actually were using all our social media, all the pictures we have from 2008, 2010, all the celebrity parties. All our pictures. They were posting everything on their Facebook page, and I'm saying, how are they getting our pictures? It's freaking ridiculous. And they also posted some of the earlier shield designs that we had that no one had except only 2 or 3 people. And so that was one of those. Those shield designs, Don designed some of those, and those were when we went back, and that was proof 40 and proof 45, right back and forth. And it's like, when they have little watermarks that I had inserted in certain areas, so I know for a fact that those shields that were on the were pirates.
So Saul, what do you want to add to that?
I mean, anybody that spends any time talking to Harry and to Don, you can tell that everything is genuine. Everything they did from the get-go, the sleepless nights that they spent, I mean, just coming up with the idea, the energy that they put towards it. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, why would you want to do anything like that to these guys? You know, they weren't out to do anything to anybody. You know, they were just, hey, all we want is our fair shot. Let our tequila speak for itself.
The individual was making money off us being the middleman, so I think as the liaison with the distillery. So if everything would have been copacetic, we would have been making money to this day. I guess that wasn't good enough for him. I've got the bottles that came out of the first mold that we ended up releasing. I mean, I've got everything. And, well, like we said, we would get a package from Mexico, and we would be so excited. We would meet up in downtown at the pantry, and we wouldn't open the package until we were all sitting together. And then we would open it up and look at each other's reaction and see, what do we have here? You know, I mean, it just happened so many times.
So there were lots of peaks, lots of valleys. Where should we expect Nocaut to go from here? I know we talked briefly about the other states. Where do you guys see Nocaut now coming up in the U.S. and or abroad in the next 3-5 years?
Well, short term, I mean, we've got a lot of people behind us. We've got big names like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield that are ready to support the brand and back it. We don't want to name drop. We got stuff coming, and we'll rather shuffle and tell instead of talking here. But we've got a lot of artillery here, so we're going to make a big sound, big noise. We're going to make a lot of noise here.
Good deal. And Saul, where do you see this? Where do you see the brand Nocaut going from here?
I actually see it growing. I mean, sky's the limit. Just for example, here in Texas, I'm working with Hector Ortiz. It's a very big. I mean, he's got a lot of connections all over the place. So anytime there's a big concert that we've got here, promotion. He's got his own magazine. He's got us in with all the MMA and all the boxing promotions that we've got going on down here. And it just seems to it's growing like a weed. And I think it's finally time that the brand gets the recognition and the fame that it deserves, regardless of who steps in our way. We're going to get what the brand is supposed to be. And to be honest with you, nobody's going to push the brand and nobody's going to talk about the brand the way we are, because the original owners are there, and nobody can talk about the brand better than the original owners.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're back, and they're back in a big way. I love it. Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody wants a Rocky. This is this is the Rocky of tequilas, ladies and gentlemen. It keeps coming back and coming back. Coming back.
In the words of Rocky Balboa.
Absolutely.
It ain't how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And it is wonderful to see you guys back up and in the ring again. Congratulations.
That's cool, man.
To be honest, we couldn't do it without the support of awesome people like you guys in the industry that have been behind us since day one. And much kudos out to you guys, and we'll be with you guys along for the whole fight. We're thankful for everybody. We appreciate it. We're very, very thankful from the bottom of our hearts here. Just thank you, many thank yous.
Thanks for not giving up. That's all I can say, because even getting on the show, they kept trying and they kept trying. But
thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for.
That was like fun, right?
Hey, it worked out, and I'm so glad that you. Just to sign off, before we sign off, is there anything that any message that you want to give to the people out there before we sign off about Nocaut Tequila, the new Nocaut Tequila, Nocaut Reserva? I'm sorry.
We just want to thank God we got the opportunity here. We've got a great team together, and it's a blessing. I mean, everything thanks to God. I mean, it's putting the team together. We're back, and we're stronger. Absolutely.
Good.
Be looking for us in the stores in the near future.
Good deal.
Whatever we're in, we're looking to be regional, national within the next 3 to 6 months. And we just get it. Let's get it.
Hey, Saul, what do you want to say? What do you want the crowd?
I just want them to know that the original team is back. So you're gonna get 100% of what Nocaut really is now. Whatever was before, whatever happened before, that's before. But the original team is back. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to us through Facebook, through our website, through Twitter, anything. And the best part is you're going to hear from us. You're not going to hear from, somebody working for us. You'll hear from us.
Good
we
deal.
just launched our website. I'm sure you guys will get the post the tag up, but it's www.knockouttequila.com. That's in English, guys. Knockouttequila.com.
We've got it linked. Your website, your Facebook, and your Twitter. The real ones.
The original.
Yeah.
No more rope-a-dope.
Yeah, I had somebody ask me on Twitter a little while ago, hey, which is the real one? There's the one, there's two. So we're having to revise and start telling everybody the story again and, letting them know. But it was great because it was somebody who really wanted the bottle and someone who was really interested in what was going on.
Well, we're going to do our best to get the word out for you guys.
Yeah, we will. Thanks again for coming on with us here at Open Bar. Saul Segura here in Texas. We got Don Burns. And I never got your partner's name.
Harry Arroyo.
Harry, nice to meet you, man. I'm sorry. I know we should.
I was at the show. Mike out there.
Yeah, I know. But what happened was, we had some technical difficulties. But I'm glad that everybody got together. I'm glad you guys were all here. You were able to tell your story because that's what Open Bar is all about. Now it's time for a drink.
Absolutely.
Woohoo! Salud. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you for checking in with us. Well, people will be able to catch this online and the replay as well on YouTube. So watch us on YouTube. Watch us on tequilaaficionado.com. Thanks again, guys. We're going to be looking for Nocaut, the original, the real Nocaut.
Yes.
All right.